Innovation doesn't just happen out of thin air. It's not just a random spark. It's more like a current, one that flows through a complex network, connecting brilliant minds and powerful institutions. And today, we're going to pull out the map and trace those exact pathways in one of the most dynamic economies on the planet, South Korea. So, let's unfold this map and see where it takes us.
So, what are we actually looking for? I mean, if you could visualize this invisible web of knowledge, this flow of ideas between universities all across the country, what would it even look like? What kind of pattern would emerge? That's the big question we're hoping to answer today.
Okay, so before we dive in, let's just quickly get on the same page. We're talking about something called a research collaboration network. It sounds kind of technical, but it's really simple. Think of it like a social network, but for academics. Every time researchers from different universities co-author a paper, boom, they create a link. And when you map out thousands and thousands of these links, you get this amazing picture of how knowledge actually flows. Right, so you might be thinking, why does any of this matter? Why even bother mapping it? Well, it matters because this network, it's basically the hidden engine room powering a country's entire innovation machine. See, these collaboration networks are absolutely essential. They let different universities team up and combine their unique strengths, creating something way more powerful than any one of them could do alone. The bottom line is pretty simple. A more connected network means faster breakthroughs, the kind that can literally define a whole economy. All right, let's start with the big picture. We're going to zoom all the way out and look at how these connections are spread across the entire country.
And we are not talking about a small sample size here. The scale is massive. This whole map is built on data from over 63,000 distinct collaborations. So yeah, this gives us a really comprehensive look at the nation's academic nervous system.
So, where is all this activity happening? You might think it's spread out pretty evenly, right? Nope. Get this. A staggering 71.6% of it is crammed into just one area, the capital region around Seoul. That is an incredible level of concentration. And if the capital region is the galaxy, then Seoul is the sun. It is the absolute, undisputed hub involved in over 61% of all collaborations nationwide. And it connects to every single other region. It's less of a web and more of a solar system with pretty much everything orbiting Seoul. And the data just backs this up completely. Look at the top connections. What's number 1? Gyeonggi and Seoul. Number 2, Daegu and Seoul. Third is Gwangju and Seoul. The pattern is undeniable. Every major innovation highway leads directly to the capital. So to sum up the national picture, what we have is a classic hub and spoke model. It's a star-shaped pattern with Seoul sitting right in the middle as the undeniable center. Now, while you do see some smaller, important regional hubs, the dominant structure is one where every single region connects back to the capital, creating this dense network where everything revolves around one point. Okay, so we've seen the map from 30,000 feet. Now let's zoom in a little closer. Which specific universities are the engines behind all these connections? Who are the real power players here? And no big surprise, that same regional pattern holds true when we look at the individual universities. The gap is just huge. On average, a university in Seoul is involved in almost 4 times as much collaborative research as one located anywhere else in the country. 4 times! And if you look at the very top of the pyramid, you can see the hierarchy really clearly. Seoul National University is just in a league of its own, with nearly 17,000 collaborations. It's followed by Sungkyunkwan and Yonsei. These 3 institutions together are the undisputed giants of the entire network. And to put that into perspective, check out this elite effect. Just 5 universities, the top 5 in the whole country, are responsible for over 60% of all research collaborations. Think about that for a second. An incredible concentration of academic power in just a handful of institutions. And here they are, the members of that elite club. You've got the famous Sky universities, that's Seoul National, Yonsei, and Korea, plus Sungkyunkwan. But the most interesting one on this list might just be number 5, Gyeonggi National University. Why? Because it's the only one in the top 5 that's located outside the capital, making it the most powerful regional research hub in the entire country. So we've seen this intense concentration at both the regional level and the university level. Let's zoom back out one more time and talk about what this all means. What are the broader implications of this centralization effect? So what does this all tell us? Well, first,
All this concentration creates an incredibly powerful and efficient research engine in Seoul. No doubt about it. Second, while Seoul is the sun, these smaller solar systems do exist in other regions. And finally, and this is really remarkable, for Seoul, distance doesn't seem to matter. It forges powerful links with cities on the other side of the country just as easily as with its next-door neighbors. So the final picture is crystal clear. The universities in the capital region are really the command center for the country's research, with Seoul itself acting as the single, overwhelming hub for the nation's entire innovation network. And that leaves us with one final important question. A network that's this centralized is obviously powerful, but is it resilient? What happens when you concentrate so much of a nation's intellectual firepower in one single place? It's a fascinating question of power versus fragility, and it's definitely something worth thinking about.